Hi everybody, it's Kathy here from Kathy Loves to Scrap, and I'm coming to you from the land down under. Today I'm joining in on the Mad About Mini Paper Pads hop here on YouTube. This is my layout that I created using the Kaisercraft Dandelions mini pad 6x6, plus I'm using also some different papers for my background and my overall mounting of my photos with the cardstock. I have 3 photos here that I'm using of my son with his car, and as I said, I have chosen this Kaisercraft as my background and the navy blue as my framing. I always cut a 1-inch frame from the cardstock, and as you can see here, I have actually torn it, but that's not a problem because I'm just going to do a little minor repair here, and when it all goes together you can't see it anyway because of the background paper that goes down as the mat that I'm going to use for this layout. I have chosen these photos of my son. I caught him in a quiet moment enjoying the preparation of his car to go out for a drive. We live in the bush, so we get lots of spiders that like to take up residence in the mirrors of the car, so he was actually just clearing out one that was in there at that time. I've just flicked through the 6x6 pad, and I've chosen this gingham one here, which I can use to make a 12x12 strip, as you can see here, because the pattern becomes a continuous pattern. I'm also going to trim down these papers here to go in behind my photos so that they are stretched across the page, and in order to do that I just line it up the way I want it and to create that cascading effect. And then I lay out my photos to make sure that I've got them in the right spot. Now with this greeny colour one at the top, I want it also at the bottom, so I just trim it in half because you won't see it because it's tucked in behind the photos, and that is how I'm stretching out my 6x6s to become 12x12s. As you can see here, I have used double-sided tape, which allows me to manipulate my papers until I stick them down permanently, and as you can see, sometimes it requires some readjustments. So without pressing down too tight on it until you're happy with it, you are able to still lift it and move it and manipulate it this way. Alright, so I'm adding in here, so it now looks like I have my piece of paper which is bigger than 6x6 and actually covers more of my paper, when in reality I'm only using the small mini pads. By layering it up across the layout, I'm giving more depth and more interest to the page so that your eye is drawn across the different colours and across the different layerings on that layout. I am putting down these photos flat because I am going to use other elements to pop on the page and build the interest on that layout. So this is my first time joining in the Mad About mini pads. I have so many mini pads like most of us do, and I thought it's a great opportunity to force me into using them and getting a creative with them. So here's my 3 photos now in place, and I'm just going to flick through the pad and find quotes that I can utilize on this layout and create an overall effect that is so much tied in together because it is the same colours and also around the same ideas. Now you would think the dandelions is a bit more of a girl type theme, girl type page probably, but because of the colours it works well with my photos, and I've been able to turn it masculine for my son's photos. I like this scallop edge here, and I'm going to take that out of the pad and I'm going to utilise that under my photo just to build some depth and some interest. And I'm looking for one more quote which I can't find in the pre-cut ones, but I do remember that there are these little tags inside, and they are 2x3s and they fit perfectly, and there is a quote in the middle about being thankful for the simple pleasures, so I'm just using that one. And you can see that by trimming that down I'm actually stretching my 6x6 pad, and I will use those other ones in another layout further down the track. So I am now going to pull these all together to build up the elements on the page. This scalloped edge I've trimmed down to go in under this photo, which draws the eye down with that darker blue on the layout. I like this Polaroid frame, so I'm going to glue it down using my Nuvo glues and stick it in under there to add an extra element to that corner. I like that quote, and I'm going to put that in there, and I'm dragging it across to keep it going and building that cluster. I'm turning this little square into a tag, which I'm going to add to the top, and I have the third quote over there. So I have my 3 quotes, which are like my 3 elements on my page. I have built up my cluster down the bottom there over that Polaroid frame. Sorry, can't even speak properly today. And I'm going to pop that one up on foam tape just to add some dimension to the page, as I said. I still have that little bit of a scallop edge there that I want to tie in, and I put it in under the photo finally, and that draws the eye down with that navy blue all the way down the layout. So now I have that cascade across the page in the diagonal. I've gone ahead and I've die cut the title out with my small dies, and I'm lining it up here, and it's going to say quiet moments because that's what I caught him in, a quiet moment, contemplating his car, contemplating the joy and the simple pleasure of owning his own vehicle. And for everyone, we all know that when we get our own cars and that freedom, this is that moment, and sometimes you just take 5 seconds to enjoy that moment, and this is what I captured him doing. I'm adding in some enamel dots now, and that builds up my elements, and I've done them in the teals, as you can see there, in the 3 shades, and that ties all of the papers together. And I'm putting them into the 3 areas there across the page to make the visual triangle, and that way your eye subconsciously roams the page but takes in the whole picture. Just adding in my journaling, which is always important. We need to add a little bit of detail of letting people know what is going on and who is in the photo. And I think that's the end of my page this time, and I love how this came together. I like the colours of it. You can see that I have my enamel dots up there in the top corner. You can see where I put it onto that panel and made it into a tag. And I have them down here in the corners, drawing your eye around the page without you actually consciously doing it. So this is the layout. I'm very happy with how it came. A mini pad is something great to work with, and we often forget to use them, so this is a great challenge. All the players who are playing along will be in the playlist down below. Make sure you check them out. Remember, I'm Kathy from Kathy Loves to Scrap, and I'm coming to you from the land down under. Give me a thumbs up. Let YouTube know that you like what I'm doing. Don't forget to go and leave some love on the other girls' layouts. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that button. I really do appreciate any comment you give me. Feedback is always great so that I can build and improve. You can check me out on all my socials under Kathy Loves to Scrap, on Instagram in particular, where all my layouts end up, even those without a video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Happy scrapping. Until next time.